Sneeko uploaded this video. Letter from Medina. Okay. Previous one was letter from Makkah. Okay. So let's see.
All the footage you're about to see is already in the hands of the US government.
What?
As I returned to my native country after a month in the Middle East, Border Patrol decided I was randomly selected to download the data on all my devices. Sitting in the interrogation room while a technician wrote down my passcodes, it occurred to me how fortunate I was to not be a terrorist. Imagine how much panic you would be in if you had a bomb in your backpack. In hindsight, wearing an Arabic thobe was not the most strategic decision in an American airport. My bags were inspected and I saw all the gifts from Muslims being carefully manhandled with rubber gloves. A pretty lady was then tasked to interrogate me while US Customs read my text messages. She was getting bored with the questioning as it became obvious I didn't have nuclear codes, and I thought back to when the senator of Michigan played my stream in a committee.
The spread of the hateful, dangerous, and extremist content that has motivated real-world violence.
That was 2 years ago. A year later, I met the president. 11 years before, all I had was a dream. Strangely enough, I always knew and perhaps decided I would be exactly here in the interrogation room. The interrogation lady asked about my time in Saudi Arabia, so I politely mansplained the significance of Ramadan, how charity is required in Islam, and how my community raised $100,000 for hungry people. She scribbled some notes in a pad. To the Muslim, good deeds act as the sole currency to purchase a spot in heaven. Her woman brain didn't understand it. You really had to leave the country for a month to do this? I told her time away from Western distractions allowed full focus on Eastern solutions.
Double sneaker, bro.
For a month, I was only around people who agree with me instead of around people who radicalize me. The trip began in the Mecca of the world. Mecca. Expensive if you like luxury, but the mental clarity is worth the investment. But the interrogator didn't understand why an American would go to Saudi Arabia for one day just to then fly to London. As she kept prying, I realized this definitely wasn't a random selection. So I explained in the most un-terrorist way possible, I simply went to Mecca to make a plan. And within that day, I gathered all the biggest names in Dawah together for the first time. The technician walked in, interrupting her questioning to get
That was helped me a lot, bro.
the correct passcode for my backup phone. I gave the wrong code, hoping they were lazy. This phone contained the memories of my life in New York City, a time where I had no money, no faith, but ambition and creativity. And the only incriminating information in there was maybe pounds of weed and possibly an unlicensed firearm. I was calculating the statute of limitations in my head, then flashbacks of that life hit me. Back in New York City, I would have never been pulled into an interrogation room. A fraction of the popularity, but with access to all the platforms I'm now banned on. A man without faith is simply not a threat. The technician fumbled the phone with his rubber gloves as I handed it back. My coworker said he's seen you on YouTube before. He pointed a purple finger at me. What do you do? What do I do? I thought about telling him those broke New York City days doing stand-up comedy and random jobs. He was about to see him anyway. He might be so entertained by memories paired with personal context that I wouldn't be convicted. Investigating an intimate life story paired with so much public information, it redefines the term autobiography. What do I do? I thought maybe I'll explain that I've been banned for years on BotTube and my existence is kept alive by talentless haters. Instead, the interrogator just said I stream on Rumble. I didn't correct her, but I still wasn't in the clear. And before the technician left to finish breaching my privacy, he asked how I was trapped in a cage with a tiger. He must have been bored with my phone's lack of terrorism. I relaxed. Hey, maybe the Middle East isn't so bad after all. They laughed, and I knew I beat the case. You cannot blame employees of the government for holding a bias created by decades of war propaganda. It's easy to forget when an Arab steps in line in airport.
Oh, he's a live skill.
Security, every American still does a triple take. While the download slowly completed, the interrogator made small talk about her job. How usually drug traffickers and pedophiles get caught because of the photos in their phone. About the innocent smile on an illegal immigrant's face when she reads their rights in a language they don't understand. Because of her job, she knows about Ramadan and the importance of the holy city Medina. One of the few places left in the world where the collective goal is worship. The city where kids are confused why I'm even allowed with arms covered in tattoos. The tranquility drew me there much longer than I planned to stay. Medina
is too peaceful, bro.
Is busy enough to be a music festival 5 times a day, but safe enough for kids to be kids. There is so much paranoia in American air, I had forgotten what it feels like to be comfortable around strangers. It's the perfect place to finish a month of fasting and join a random Indian family for Eid celebration. Eating there after sunrise with the Patel family, I realized weirdly, I was gonna miss fasting. Not the lack of food and water, but the discipline you learn. Hearing the prayer call on the roof alone, yet accompanied by my brothers from around the world in the Middle East. I pray one day the interrogator sees this video and curiosity pulls her to explore the secrets of Medina for herself. From the steps inside the very first mosque ever built, all the way to the mountains where companions seeked refuge in the midst of holy war. Overlooking the beauty of where this religion of Islam began, I was reminded of the domino effect that triggered my eventual presence right here. The contradiction of a mind carrying youthful ambition amidst the glamorous distractions of America's empty temptations. The interrogator was warming up to the God talk. She opened up. The worst thing she sees on the job are the phones of the Palestinians. As she began describing what she's seen from the videos on their phones, she cried. I changed the subject. Palestinians have a strength their enemies lack. She wiped a tear and gained composure. Those terrible videos are of people now in eternal paradise. When a Muslim dies for the sake of God, they attain the highest rank in heaven. No wonder the enemy is jealous. There is no missile that defeats faith. My privacy was taken and my phones were returned, so the interrogator walked me out the airport. I would shake your hand goodbye if you didn't tell me it's not allowed. I wondered if she was flirting and then prayed to God she never sees my Snapchat.
Sneaker. So everything is fine, but you used music. I think you will, inshallah, you will avoid this music in the future. But that was a good video, bro. Mecca and Medina is a peaceful place. You will get lots of tranquility, okay? Bro, that that is a dream for every Muslim to go there. And I know a man, he converted to Islam before, I think, almost 4 months ago, and he wanted to go there, and it's his dream right now, okay? And now, yeah, his letter from Medina, Makkah make me literally happy, bro. Cause Sneeko Sneeko makes good content like this from when he started this career, content creation career. Yeah, double Sneeko. And Islam is not about terrorism. Islam is about the way of life. Terrorist, who is terrorist, bro? Terrorist who I call them, they are not a Muslim, they are not following Islam, and they are just killing innocent people. I don't support them, and Islam doesn't support them, and that's the truth, okay? You can you can you can you can you can't merge these two things, Islam and terrorism, like this. You can't merge these, okay? That's the truth. So yeah, Islam is the religion, and this is the way of life, ultimate truth. And you know Allahu Akbar. I think Sneaker is doing great, mashallah, alhamdulillah. And for his for for his live stream, many people, I think, converted to Islam. And yeah, I'm not practicing Muslim it for his stream, and I got lots of things, like I'm making video on him. And that's the thing. Oh, may Allah bless him, may Allah grant him Jannah. And also goodbye, Masalama, assalamu alaikum.